And Google Apps. If it wasn't for these guys, the industry online would be completely different. I have nothing but fantastic things to say about Google and what they've done for the whole cloud software industry. Google is kind of like your phone, your iPhone, your Samsung. So the iPhone is good for those that like iPhones. I don't. And the Samsung is good, but it's the apps that plug into it that really make it something exceptional. So the great thing about Google is that they've made their backend super open and available to all these different software. So you don't have to do a lot of tinkering around. One login with Google Apps will control, if you do it properly, 50 to 80% of all your different software logins, which means that when you have a company with a lot of different staff and you give them access to a whole bunch of different software, you only need to worry about one username really to change. If the person leaves or if you need to get them access to something else, really, really handy. And everybody's familiar with Gmail, and there's not really much I can say more other than the fact that this is what the whole thing is based off of. So I'll just show you how to get signed up with the apps. So most people are familiar with how to sign up with Gmail. Gmail is part of the apps network. Part of the apps network is also Drive, which is also part of the free version. But for $5 a month, this is your only cost actually, is this. And it's well worth the money. There's no obligation, $5 a month, and you can now have the beginning base infrastructure to run any size company off of this. So let me show you how to get it set up, okay? Okay, so where we're going is to google.com/apps. And this is how we'll set up the new Google Apps account. So get started. Now remember, Google Apps is fantastic because it is fully on the cloud, and just like your phone has apps on it that make your phone more customized to how you want to use it, makes it incredibly useful. Okay, so I'm going to select one employee. I'm going to say the region it's in. So select a domain to use. Step 2 out of 3 here. I'm going to use a domain I already own. If I hadn't already purchased a domain, then I could buy one through Google for $8 a year. So, millimaking.com. Okay. I like to get the emails from Google, so I always check that. Gives me a prize as to what's going on. This is the beginning panel of the Google Apps here. Okay, so I'm going to set this up on my own. That's what the purpose of this training video is here. So we're going to continue, set it up on our own, because we're comfortable managing the DNS settings. Frankly, with Google's new setup, you don't have to worry about it. They walk you through the entire thing pretty simply. So verify your domain to activate the Google Apps. We're going to click this. A pop-up window is going to pop up. So they've made this super simple now. You just simply have to log into GoDaddy, and they actually do all the work for you. We're going to log in. Google's asking for permission to make changes to the DNS settings for Millimaking. Basically, it's just going to go in there and it's going to do the work that normally, not too long ago, a few months ago actually, you just had to do yourself. But now Google's actually made this pretty straightforward, working directly with GoDaddy, which is very nice. So there they've just gone to the back end, changed the DNS settings. That's all you need to do. And it's going to prompt you on to the next step after this. Okay, so that was almost ready to be verified. The next step here is you need to create accounts for the team. If there's other people, in this case here, since I only said that there's going to be one person in the company, it skipped that. And so now we're going to be setting up Gmail for that one person that we started creating this with, which is the efficiencies@millimaking.com. So here, we verified that we own the domain name. Now we need to have the mail route through Gmail, as opposed to going through a webmail application through GoDaddy. So this way you never need to log into GoDaddy's webmail. So just follow the instructions here. It's pretty straightforward. So it's going to go in and change the MX records, and it's done it all for you. So anybody who's set up their own MX records, to integrate with Google Apps, will find this incredibly, incredibly handy now. Last step is to set up the billing. You have 30 days to try out your Google Apps. This here is your only cost to set up this initial integration with cloud integration software. So $5 a month is what it costs per user. You can set up different nicknames per user. So for example, if I click on the user, I can see here that I've got the person, I can create a nickname for them. So I go to account, and the reason why nicknames are good is that I don't need to set up a bunch of different domain names or a bunch of different email addresses to use just one user. So for example, I like to set up an info @ and a company @ and a subscriptions @ the different domain name. Those are all used for different purposes. The premise of this is that there is value to having different email addresses to be used for different purposes. You can filter them out through Gmail settings. You can forward them off. So rather than setting up different users for that and having to log into different accounts, I have them set up as nicknames for this one person. So I log into one account, and then those nicknames will act as if it's to the outside. It looks like it's going to different places, but it all comes into one inbox. So we'd set up info, save changes, there we go. So now in this case here, I've got info@millionmaking.com and efficiencyzar. So I log into the Gmail account with efficiencyzar@millionmaking.com, and I can send emails to info@millionmaking, and they'll all come to my email inbox. I can go up here. I can see that my email is not set up yet because a bunch of different options would pop up here. This is your app screen, just like on your iPhone or your Samsung or your Android. You can click your apps and you'll see a bunch of different apps that you'll have access to. That is it for setting up your Google Apps. Now it's just a waiting game. Once we get Google Apps set up, we will now have the ability to run a number of different software off of this. So as you can see, it's incredibly easy to set this up nowadays. If you have any other questions, just drop me a line. Thank you.